It's been a while since the release of 2.2, and now that we have had time to process the story, I think it's high time we consider, was it even good? Or were we just all caught up in the hype of a new region? Yes, we were. Now, I don't want to sound too antagonistic, as there are legitimately good things about Inazuma. The look of the region, the side quests, and the absolutely amazing OST. However, I think MiHoYo messed up arguably what matters most to a gacha game, the story and its characters. Now, Inazuma actually starts off decently strong. We make our way through Inazuma, learning about the culture, the commissions, and eventually, through some letter hijinks, we make our way to the city. It's here we meet Ayaka. It's worth to note at this point that the traveler doesn't give a fuck and just wants to meet the shogun. To which Ayaka says, yeah, before you do that, visit some victims so I can guilt trip you into joining my side. And then we do that, because the traveler was at sea for weeks and this is the first time he's talked to a woman that wasn't Beidou. And here we encounter what the Vision Hunt degree did to its people. Stripped of all ambition, they have become mere husks of what they once were. Completely different people, in a sense killing the person who they once were. And this is actually a good moment, but this will poke holes in the narrative later down the line. We've established the stakes. Now remains the problem of getting the traveler to resolve Inazuma's issues. And how does the game do this? By pulling a lever and having him become a hardened criminal, and fleeing so that he can later clear his name by saving Inazuma. Yikes. So to get the traveler invested in Inazuma's problems, we have him join a resistance movement to the Vision Hunt decree and build a relationship with one of the soldiers of the resistance, and then watch him slowly die. And honestly, Teppei was the best part of the Watatsumi resistance arc. Even if we had already seen that the Vision Hunt decree was bad, now we can learn that war too is bad. Truly thought-provoking stuff right here, Genshin. And so we go back to the main island, kick Ball's ass, and save Inazuma. So you've probably picked up on one thing. I made no mention of Goro, Yae, or Kokomi. There's a few reasons for that. Kokomi, Goro, and the whole resistance is pointless. All it did was set up delusions, a concept we had already seen at this point, and tells us that the Vision Hunt decree was bad, which had already been established in Act 1. Then there's Yae Miko. Now, I actually like Yae Miko as a character, but I don't like how she's used in the story. She basically becomes a MacGuffin to progress the story when it's needed. She saves the traveler, basically causes the encounter with Signora, and helps us defeat Baal. Yes, and she definitely couldn't have talked to Baal before she went insane. Can't have that. There's countless examples of stuff like this that make stuff look pointless, like Kazuha's whole story amounting to deflecting one slash from the Raiden Shogun and not an actual fight like literally everyone expected. Or how we never actually get to see the resistance do anything, or how we never actually see Kokomi do some 5-head strategy, or how Signora, this villain that has been built up for 2 whole acts, just dies without any explanation of her motives or anything about her that wasn't just tall, hot booba mommy. But in all of this, the worst offender is Baal herself. Baal herself is a contradictory character, split between the role of an antagonist and everything else. You see, when we fight Baal, she tells us she knows everything that's going on outside, and she essentially says, I don't give a fuck, now get the fuck out. However, this completely contradicts what we see of her both later in her story quest and where the Shogun herself doesn't hate the people, and in fact, her sisters seem to love the people. In fact, when Yae says that an eternity of the Shogun would make Inazuma an empty nation, and if that nation disappeared, nothing of value would be lost, the Raiden Shogun says,
nothing more than simply exist. It is a hollow shell of a nation. I wonder what loss would it really be to anyone if such a nation were destroyed.
Miko, retract your words.
There's also the question of why did she issue the Vision Hunt decree in the first place? If she doesn't care about the citizens, then Whether the mortals have visions or not should be irrelevant. But if she does care about the citizen, then why did she knowingly put the citizens through the awful process of losing a vision, forgetting who they are as people? This makes Baal at best an inconsistent character, and at most badly written. My theory is that she was first written as a villain, and somewhere along the process they wanted to make her more empathetic, paying people to roll for her. But by then too much work had already been done, and now we're left with this. It's too bad that Inazuma ended up the way it did, despite its strong start, because I know MiHoYo can write good stories. We know they can write good Genshin stories as well. In fact, they can also write good main stories as well. That's right, baby, the best story in this game is about an old man with Alzheimer's looking for his successors and hiring the Russian mafia to do so. Now, this isn't to say Liyue is perfect, far from it, but it finished off strong and gave us some amazing characterizations of the people living in Liyue, like Ningguang. During the finale of Liyue, Ningguang sacrifices the Jade Chamber. Just think that she's built up from a small room to a palace, a monument to her life's work, and she gives it up to save Liyue, a sign she'll make a great leader who'll always put Liyue ahead of her own interests. Now I want you to think of someone in Inazuma that had half that characterization. So in conclusion, Japan bad, Maoist China good. Thanks for watching.